Thank you for all the downloads, all the new subscribers, all the likes, comments, feedback. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. How's everybody out there doing on this Tuesday? Yeah, I don't know, man. I talked to I might be taking this defamation case up to federal level. I was talking to an attorney. Uh, it says this case can qualify for a federal case, federal civil suit. He told me that the relief in the federal courts is about $250,000 for those type of cases. So instead of dealing with the state, which is a $10,000 max, the attorney is, well, he's the one that's like, if you go federal with it, which since the person lives out of state, all the doxing, all the cyberbullying, all the defamation of character would be considered federal. Right? So once he's telling me all this, he's telling me that he's telling me what the arguments might be, but as he's telling me what the arguments that they could use, I'm shutting them down, right? And it got to the point where he's like, well, if you know everything that you got going on, what do you need me for, right? I'm like, well, because it's always better, man, if you have a educated, sophisticated attorney representing you, man. Then the courts will take you a lot more seriously, right? So I don't know, man. I might be taking this defamation case up to the federal level, right? And on the federal level, there's nothing as far as a defamation. You got to go by the violation of the amendments, right? So just a little quick update, man. I'm not gonna take up too much of y'all's time today. Letting y'all know that I might be taking this case up to the federal level, under the guidance of an attorney. He's the one that's saying, and the thing I told him, I'm like, it's like, you don't understand, man. These guys are just using people's criminal record. He goes, wow, so they're using, that just proves the pure intention, malice of what they were doing. I said, yeah, man. I mean, when you have audio, video, it's not just he said, she said, right? Yes, defamation cases are hard to win. Defamation cases are hard to win, man, right? But you have to, if you have audio, video, paper trail, man, it's a lot easier than he said, she said. All right. So instead of a 10,000 reward relief, the federal level gives you up to $250,000. So anything of value, property, homes, anything, right, would be up for grabs. right, would be up for grabs. So, so all the naysayers out there, man, right, we're gonna take this defamation case up to the federal level. To the federal level. I don't think 10,000 is sufficient enough for for one's character to be damaged and harmed. So that's the game plan, man. Talking to this attorney, giving me pretty good guidance. Giving me giving me the arguments or counterclaims that the defendant will and most likely try to use. But if you can counterclaim all their claims, and it's an easy defamation case. So based off the attorney's guidance, he's like, "Hey, you can get more money in the federal court. Right? If you're telling me everything is the way you have all these proof, you have all this audio, you have all these videos, you have all this proof to paint a pure malice picture of defamation with the intent to cause you extreme emotional distress, loss of revenue." So that's the thing of what we're going to go on today, man. We're going to take this civil state case up to federal level, and let's see what the outcome will be. Right? Because I don't think 10,000 is sufficient, right, for damaging one's character on social media. Right? And like I told the attorney, I said, just because they delete the videos, it's already out there. Other smaller anonymous platforms will pick up and run with it. Right? And then there you would go spending whack-a-mole, right? He goes, yeah, you are correct. Once it's up there, you'll be playing whack-a-mole, but he says, but you got the main corporate, right? You got the main one that started everything, that initiated everything. I said, yeah, man, I that's the one I'm suing. I'm suing the main one that started everything, right? How do you know other smaller platforms? Well, you got Junes, right? You got all these other platforms that were on that panel that shows the defamation spread like wildfire. Right? Once the public great content creator put it out there, and just by deleting it thinks that there was no damage done, the damage is out there. The damage is still out there, man. Right? There's still people making videos of me doxing my home. All of this is the outcome and the fallout of the defamation of one Dante Lamar Bill. Right? All that, all these other trolls, all these other small channels, all these anonymous channels are the outcome of one Dante Lamar Bell. Right? So he can argue and I delete. No, the damage is done, man. Right? You have so many minions and large following that they picked it up and they ran with it. Right? And for me to go after everybody that posted something defamation about me, it would be impossible, right? To go after all the trolls. But I can go after the puppet master, the one that initiated and started all the defamation of character that everybody started following his lead. So it's not like I can't prove. I done showed you all the videos. I have more videos to paint a pure malice. Right? The intentions were pure malice. So the only way, the attorney was telling me, he goes, you might as well go to federal level with this, man, since it happened on the internet. And you get more the possibility of being rewarded more for your defamation of character, it's a lot greater. You know, $250,000 sounds a lot better than 10,000. 10,000 or $250,000. All right. Anything that's of value, a squirrel fur jacket, anything. East side, north side, all south top posting using stay stiff. Oh, we gotta stay stiff, man. We got to. We got to, man. That's why they're over there defaming people's character. I'm scheming and plotting, man, on how to get sweet justice for all my emotional distress. I need justice, man. You know, sometimes I can't eat. Sometimes I have suicidal thoughts. Sometimes I have thoughts of harming myself. You know, I'm a mental unstable person, man. When people defame my character, lie about me, dox me, it throws me into a down spiral, right? Of nothing but negative thoughts. It's bad, man. I'm a documented psych patient, right? I'm a documented medical patient, right? So my emotions, the way I think, might be affected by my mental health, right? Something that might not bother you bothers me, right? And it might bother me 10 times more than it bothers you, right? Especially when it's serious defamation without any truth. Yes, extreme. Sometimes I can't, sometimes I wake up in night sweats, right? Torturing, all right? Sometimes I wake up screaming, Dante Lamar Bell, leave me alone, all right? Leave me alone, Don. Sometimes my wife has to wake me up from these night tremors. I have night tremors so bad. I think I've been close to urinating on myself, right? I've been so, you know, nightmares that seem so real. People coming up to my home, doxing me, you know, dragging me out of my bed, telling me this is for Dante. I hear voices of people wanting to do harm to me. I hear Detroit. I hear trembles. I'm a lost cause right now, man. Right? My therapist knows I've been suicidal this past couple of months. It sucks. You know, a lot of us that suffer from mental health, we can't really process things like a normal person. Right? Good morning, V. How you doing? Just doing a little quick update. You know, we're going to take this defamation case up to the federal level. The federal level, you know, it's a little bit more rewarding, more relief. And, you know, $250,000 sounds a lot better. You know, maybe I can get me a good psychiatrist. Maybe I can, you know, go to therapy on a regular, more basis. I think the only thing that's gonna combat this is it's not months, years of therapy. Years, right? Years, man. Yeah, man. You can call me borderline schizophrenic, man. Right? All this is bad for my health, man. Right? It's it sucks, man. Mental health is no joke, man. Right? Mental health is no joke, man. Like I said it before, man. Every time that I would consume alcohol, mental health, man, would get me, man. Right? I would start getting those evil thoughts, man. The evil thoughts would come into self harm myself most of the time, man. Right? To try to feel some kind of physical pain. People that suffer from mental health, people that suffer from mental health, man. I'm gonna use myself for an example, man. When I get so emotionally unbalanced, I go to self harming myself, man. Right? I don't go and take my anger out on my family. I go out there, I punch something. I might slice myself, but I'm taking that out on myself, right? Because I want to feel physical pain. I'm tired of feeling emotional, man. I'm tired of feeling hurt and not seeing no blood, right? At least when I hurt myself and I see the blood, my mind kind of understands to understand. Okay, there you go. Cry for something now, motherfucker. Right there you go. Cry for that. Right. So what they've done to me, the emotional distress, not just one, right? Like I said, Dante Lamar Bell's the one that started it, initiated it. He might have deleted the video, but it spread like wildfire. Now, if I was to combat my defamation on social media, it'll be a whack-a-mole, right? It's out there, right? One anonymous troll can create as many troll accounts as they want, and they can put my doxing, defame my character without any kind of consequences, right? Without any kind of consequences, right? But we have to remember that it all got started, initiated by Dante Lamar Bell. So you can say he's the one that lit the wildfire on fire, right? He started the wildfire, right? He started it. Yes, other people are guilty. But like I said, man, you're going to be playing whack-a-mole, right? Trying to find everybody on social media defaming your character. Right? I was able to be lucky that this guy is a self-narcissist and thought that he's bigger than the program and thought that he can just run a muckus, run a wild, right? So that's the game plan, y'all. Man, I've been talking to his attorney, and he's confident, man. He's confident on everything that I'm telling him. But once again, right, he's just going off of what I'm telling him. I might be telling him lies, right? I might not be telling him about Sabrina. That they can bring Sabrina and defeat the case. Emotional distress, man. That's why you see me doing numerous daily defensive videos. Right? This is all I can think about, man. Right? I have tunnel vision. Tunnel vision, right? At the hands of Dante Lamar Bell. Extreme emotional distress, nightmares, tremors. Every time I open my door, I'm looking out the window like a paranoid schizophrenic, right? I am a schizophrenic, right? I'm borderline. So all these people doxing me, wishing me harm, it plays into my mental health, right? So the extreme emotional distress, I'm living it every day, man, as I speak it right now, at the hands of Dante Lamar Bell. Right? Making a mockery of the legal system, giving me more emotional distress to where, am I ever going to seek justice? Right? He makes a mockery of the legal system. And like the lawyer was telling me, he goes, they can counterclaim, right? I'm like, they can counterclaim what? And he told me, and I tell him, well, what about this? Well, he goes, you got a good one right there. You know, attorneys don't like for you to tell them how to do their job, man. Right? Attorneys like idiots. They like for them to tell you what they need to do. Right? Attorneys don't like it for when you tell them what you want them to do. They don't like it. Right? Because like how the attorney told me, why don't you do it yourself then, buddy? Right? And like I said, I am doing it myself right now. Right? And then once I started telling him my story, he's the one that told me, well, why don't you take it federal level? Right? Federal level, it's $250,000 instead of that state level of 10,000. He goes, if you can paint everything you're saying, not just he said, she said, because that's the thing about defamation. A lot of defamation cases go based off he said, she said. Right? If you can solidify it with audio and video to paint the pure malice, the intent, well, it's a lot easier to win a defamation case. It's a lot easier. And I see Mark Moore made a cameo. Mark Moore made a cameo appearance in the Alabama Solution. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know Mark Moore made a cameo appearance in the Alabama Solution documentary? Mark Moore was in that documentary for a period of 15 seconds. He was in there doing the laundry cubbies. The same clippings of him in the turned out documentary where he's putting the laundry in the cubbies. That same clipping made the cameo in the Alabama Solution. Y'all go check it out, man. Yeah. I told y'all, man. Mark Moore is and will always be the problem. All right. Why do you think they showed Mark Moore there? Yeah, I ain't bullshitting. Y'all go watch that documentary. Towards the end of the documentary, Mark Moore makes his cameo appearance. Y'all check it out, man. Y'all don't be. You see, a lot of people say that would have been a good one, man. Because Mark said, "Hey, man, fuck, ain't that a bitch?" Mark everybody's making money off of Mark's image and likeness, right? He should at least got tossed something, a credit on the Alabama solution. Y'all go check it out, man. It won't let me screen record it. I'm probably put it on my TV and take a little snippet of it to show y'all that, Mark Moore did his cameo on the Alabama solution, which he's not the solution, right? He's not the solution. They just threw him in there to, oh man, that's Mark Moore. That's Turned Out. That's Mark Moore from the Turned Out documentary. Oh yeah, that's Alabama, man. He's part of that shit. Mark Moore in Alabama prison go head to head. Y'all check it out, man. And to be honest about that documentary, man, that documentary was that Alabama solution. I think I could have done a better documentary, man. All right. It's just based off of the living conditions, man. All right. They did not talk about what the real shit goes on there, right? The Mark Moores, the Jerry Gaskins, all right? Prison is supposed to be bad, man. Prison is meant for you to not want to go back, all right? When they make prison with all the amenities, that makes people want to go back, right? Because when people don't want to pay bills, fuck, hey, we got AC, we got food, we got a cot. Let me go do a crime, right? I'm going to have all the amenities. Prison is supposed to be hard, man. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime, right? Why do you think these people that come from Venezuela, these foreign countries, and they've been incarcerated in their countries, right? And then they come over here and they get incarcerated, man, it's like a resort for these guys, right? They're like, this is doing time over here. Y'all need to go do time in them foreign countries, all right? Where if you don't have no money or no relatives, you ain't gonna eat. Right? If you don't have no relatives, ain't nobody gonna bring you no clothes. Right? But American prisons compared to foreign prisons, you kind of don't have all these habitual offenders. Right? Prison was for you to repent, be remorseful, hold your own self accountable for what you did wrong, right? Now you can't even do that, man, because now they want basketball courts, they want baseball fields, they want cable TV, right? They want education. Like, y'all want all this education, but when you out here in this free world, you out here breaking into shit, snatching purses. But now you want to come to prison and find God. All right? Everybody that goes to prison finds God, but why don't you find God when he's out here, man? All right? I've never ran to God, man, on my toughest. I've never ran to God and said, hey, come get me out of this, man. Look out for me. No. I got myself into it. I'll get myself out of it. I never understood, man, that so many people would run to God when they get locked up. And as soon as they get out of here, man, as soon as they leave prison, that Bible gets thrown away. All right? Faithfully going to church every Sunday. But as soon as they get out here, do they go to church? Hell no. Nah. I never understood that, man. All right? I understood when I went to prison, prison was not meant to be nice, man. It was meant for me not to come back. I didn't want to go back around seeing balls and ass, right? Because when you shower, you're showering with 50 to 100 man, right? And there's no point, right? There's no, you're seeing balls and asses, man, right? As much as you want to look straight and look forward, your mind is still absorbing the surroundings, man. That stuff, I didn't want to be around other balls and asses, man. Smelling feet, ass. So it discouraged me from ever wanting to go back to prison, man. Not the amenities, right? So that documentary to me was a bunch of grown men crying, right? A lot of rapists, murderers, pedophiles, thieves, right? Crying about the conditions of prison. Right? But at the same time, what about their victims? Right? The people they unalived, are they going to be able to enjoy their home? No. Your actions took their life. And now you're complaining about some mildew or makes no sense, man. So that documentary was a waste of time, man. All right? A waste of time. Waste of fucking time, man. All right? What happened to if you can't do the time, don't do the crime? That's all I seen in that motherfucking documentary. A bunch of grown killers, rapists, pedophiles crying about the living conditions of prison. No wonder society doesn't give a fuck. That's why it's going to continue being like that. Because, hey, do the crime, do the time. Especially like Texas. Texas don't play that. Texas will give you a 25, a 35, a 45, or 55, and not think about it twice. Yeah, that's what they want it to be, man. They want AC. They want fucking uh, 5-course meals. They want iron sheets. And no, man. Them sheets that you're gonna get are gonna smell like feet and bleach. Right? If I had to deal with my shit smelling like feet and bleach, because in prisons, man, they throw all that shit on one washer, man, right? So when I went to prison, man, I kept my same box. I bought my own boxers, I bought my own socks, I bought my own shorts, and I would have my own tight whites, right? I would have one outfit for visits and one shit that I would switch every day, right? But my boxers and socks and shorts and shirts were washed in my cell, right? Shit that I was gonna wear every day, it got washed in my cell, right? Right, because they weren't gonna clean this shit, man. You were gonna risk yourself of catching staph. I would wash my own sheets, right? I would wash my own bed sheets, man, and hang them up in my cell, right? Everybody will. You don't want to catch staph, man. I stayed in a 2-bed cell, man. Right? A 2-man cell for 20 hours a day, man. That sucks, right? Because they would in medium custody, they would only let you out for 4 hours. 4 hours to 6 hours. I think on weekends they would give us an extra 2 hours, if I can remember. But Monday to Friday, it was 4 hours. All right, 20 hours in and then 4 hours day room time. And it would suck because we would get racked up around 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, man. Right? Rack up. And then there we go for the rest of the night, right? 20 hours in the cell. So yes, I did about a year, right, in prison. But my year was fucking, 20 hours in the cell, man. Right, in medium custody. Yeah, we would fall out of place, man. Right. We would switch places. Right. If we wanted to get tattoo work or anything, if we wanted to just chill for the night, smoke, drink, or whatever the fuck we wanted to do, right? Ride and just chill. You fall out of place, man. You get your artwork done all night long, smoke, ride, and breakfast comes, you switch out. Now the tablets is fine because they gotta give you. To me, the tablets are. I understand the tablets. Right, it's a form of communication to the outside. Right, it's you gotta have communication, and it's only with times. It's everything now is so digital and electronically that it's a lot easier to monitor electronical than it is physical mail. Because now they can have programs that you can just type in certain keywords and they can scan that picture. They can scan it. They can scan those texts, emails, and if none of those keywords are on there, it passes it. So the visual inspection of a clerk, a mail clerk going there and reading the letter, looking for keywords or looking for any kind of a suspicious writing activity, now it's going to probably be automated, man. They type in certain keywords, it's not in there, then let it go. So to me, that documentary didn't really speak. Yes, it spoke on the police corruption, right? The deputies corruption, right? That they themselves are almost a gang as well, right? The deputies, right? And that's what I always said, man. You got Deputy Brad Lucas, right? He was a victim at one time. Now the power struggle's done switched over. Now he has the power. Who's not to say that, hey, is he using extreme force? There's a lot of things that are possibilities, man. Right? If you look at that documentary, you see the police corruption. They all look out for each other. They all try to turn a blind eye up to another officer's wrongdoing. And if you look at that documentary, the officer that was held responsible for the death and beating of that inmate, he got promoted 2 times to lieutenant. Right? Yes, I think the mom won a civil action suit. Right? The mom was able to win a civil suit, but as far as any kind of criminal, no. Right? Because they have that law right there that if an inmate attacks an officer, the officer can use deadly force. Right? Did he go overboard? Well, I guess the civil suit winning, that's where the judges and the peer and the civil case felt that he did go overboard and they granted her a civil winning. Right? But the cop went back. He became a lieutenant. Right. That tells you that the administration knows on who they're dealing with, right? They know the criminal population of Alabama. It's only a handful of guys it's only a handful that are really want to get things done right and do it the proper way. It's just a handful of them, right? The majority of them are guys like Mark Moore, 50-year-old gang members, right? So if you're a guard and you know what kind of inmates you have, not only do you have inmates like Mark Moore, you have inmates like Hips, like the inmate that passed away that put 2 blades, right? You got to ask yourself, man, what would cause an inmate to tie up 2 blades to his hands and just attack somebody? Ask yourself, man. I'm gonna use myself an example. If I was gonna tie up 2 weapons to my hands, there had to been something that happened to me, something almost. The seriousness of me tying 2 knives to my hand, what happened? Right? What caused me to go weaponize myself in that way? We all know, according to people that been in the Alabama Department, 80%, up to 90% are involved in this homosexual deviancy, extorting, sodomizing, buying, selling, weaker, majority of the time, Caucasian men as commodities for zuzus and wham whams, right? So if you know the environment that it is for a white man, would it be too hard to speculate that maybe that white man was probably sodomized before? Or maybe he just got tired of it and said, man, fuck it, I'm taking somebody out, right? Look at the environment that he was in. Right? So no wonder, right? There was no actual consequences for the guard, right? He did what any other guard was supposed to do. Somebody was rushing him with weapons. He de-escalated the situation, right? He's able to use force. I don't know, Mr. Skits. It sounds like you need to be locked up in an institution, man. Sounds like you one of them fucking gunslingers that just like slinging your parasites all over the place. Sounds like you might be on the wrong platform, man. I'm against deviancy, man. I don't promote it. I don't align myself with deviancy. If you're talking about you driving and just gunslinging, and man, you're a dangerous man, man. You're a reckless driver. One hand on the Peter and one hand on the wheel. That's dangerous behavior, man. You need to get off the road. Not only just off the road, just out of society, period, man, and go in there and go into an environment where you're full of other deviants. I suggest you could go commit a crime in the state of Alabama and you'll fit right at home. You'll fit right at home with a bunch of deviants, right? Deviants like you, self-admitted, right? I'm just going based off of what you're posting, and so you're a self-admitted deviant, man. That needs help. All right. Maybe somebody can go, maybe you can go have as many great performances as you want, eating dirty Snickers, man. Playing Russian roulette or with them boys in there, man. You know, popping cherries, popping Boosie cherries up in there. I don't know, man. All right. But over here, I go against that type of behavior, man. So I just wanted to do a little quick live back, just to let y'all know that might be going federal level with this, right? And see what the outcome would be, man. And y'all go check out Mark Moore's cameo on the Alabama Solution. He still had his arm there. Check him out. He was still intact. He was still intact at that clipping. He's at the, let me see, at the documentary's about an hour and something. I say close towards 20-minute mark, man. Stop at the 20-minute mark. When it's about to end, it's gonna start showing you the credits. And you'll see the cameo of one Mark Moore, Moore. Where you from? Mobile? Where you from? Mobile. I guess I consider myself now a public figure since I do YouTube videos. My YouTube videos are just about my life, mental health, stuff that I've gone through on social media at the hands of content creators, which are other public figures. They're not private. Anybody, once you become a public figure, you should be ready to get scrutinized, right? People are going to come with a fine comb. With the fine comb, and they're going to scrutinize you for what you've been doing, your past, present, and maybe even future, right? As a public figure, you will be scrutinized. So once you get that understanding, then you have the option of either accepting the scrutiny or just, getting offline. Right? If you can accept public formulated opinions based off truth, well then I have no problem. Right? But once you start scrutinizing public figures with slander and defamation, using other people's criminal convictions to try to pass them off to people you're slandering, the knowing, the willingly is adamant, right? Why he could be over there in Texas, he's over here worrying about black people business. Who cares what the black man did to the white man in prison? Why he could be over there and be the voice and reasoning of Texas, he's over here in black business. Who cares what the black man said, what the black man did to the white man in prison? These are the quotes, the famous quotes of one content creator, Dante Lamar Bell. Right? Famous quotes, man. Famous quotes. There's many famous quotes. That's one of my favorites. And my most recent one is, defamation of character is a mother. Defamation of character is a mother. That's one of my other famous quotes from Dante Lamar Bell, the content creator. Famous quotes, man, that paint pure malice behavior. If you don't want to be scrutinized negatively, don't act and behave in dangerous ways. Right? If you don't want to be scrutinized, if you want to be scrutinized for being a good content creator and speaking the truth, and well, speak the truth. Don't defame nobody's character. Right? Because as being a public figure, you open yourself up to being scrutinized with the fine comb. Right? It's like when them kids have lice, they get that little fine comb and they go by hair, strand by strand by strand, right? It's a fine comb. Strand by strand by strand. And that's how it is when you become a public figure, man. People are going to scrutinize everything. From what you eat, from how you dress, from what you say, from what you do. Right? When you become a public figure, it's all good and dandy because the views and the clicks and ups and the revenue, right? The good side of being a public figure. But just like a coin, there's two sides. And depending on what side you're bidding on, that's the side you want, right? Everybody wants the good side. Everybody wants to be like Cheers, where everybody knows your fucking name, right? Step into the bar, right? But everybody hates when it's that time to pay the bill, right? You've been buying out the bar, now it's time to pay the tab. now you hate it, right? So being a public figure has its upsides and it has its downsides, man, right? You'd be admired, right? Shit, 150,000 followers, that's a large cult following, man. The praises, the comments. Who doesn't like the good side of being a public figure? Right? And then you have the one scrutinizing you, looking at how you dress. Look, what is he dressing today? Right? It's all formulated opinion of truth, right? You did wear it, so they just, it's formulated opinion, man. Don't be mad when they scrutinize you. As long as people don't defame people's character or image or name, doxing, cyberbullying. But then everybody should be open to some open criticism. Especially when you're a public figure. If you were a private figure, well, you can't, it's called private, right? It's private. But you gave up being a private citizen just as I did by posting content. Once we posted and decided what kind of content we were going to post, that's what was going to be based off the scrutiny, right? Were we going to be admired and praised, or were we going to be scrutinized? You got to ask yourself that. So all my defensive videos that I do every day is to try to combat the seriousness of my defamation. Like I said, The person that initiated it and started it and posted it on his channel, yes, he deleted it, right? But just like how I have the deleted video, other sources, other channels did the same thing, right? Just like I was able to record and save the malice, other smaller channels, troll channels, were able to do the same, right? So even through, he can try to say, hey, look, my hands are clean. No, they're not, right? Your hands would have been clean if you would never initiated it, if you would have never started it, the defamation, the doxing, the cyberbullying, right? That now it's out of control. It spread like wildfire. And just like how I have the deleted videos, other people that are in your camp are going and doing the same thing, right? So just imagine how many other people have the deleted videos. If I have them, right? And I'm just having them because I'm defending myself. I'm trying to use those videos to defend my name. Now you ask yourself, how many other people have those to continue to do the same thing you had started and initiated? Right? Yes, you deleted the videos, right? But the harm has already been done, right? And the harm continues to be done. Yes, right? Talking to the attorney gave me all the counterclaims that I need to concentrate on, right? I have videos of other, example, June, right? He's a smaller platform for an example that led off of you, fed off of your platform, just like many others, right? All them people that participated on your panel, right? That's 9 people, right? Now, out of those 9 people, it spreads like wildfire, right? Because they started, they spread it, they spread it, they spread it, they spread it, right? So it shows your intent and malice of what you were trying to do, right? You put it out there, you deleted it, and you were expecting other smaller followers to do your dirty bid, right? So your hands are dirty, right? Like how you were trying to say, my hands are stained from the actions of my friends. No, man. The actions of my friends are their own actions, right? I, on the other hand, was a good friend that I try to prevent a lot of their actions, right? That's what good friends do, man. Right? Or I was, and like how you said, my hands would be stained and I'd be, with convictions or currently doing life or something, right? So, as you can see, man, that's why I'm deciding to take it all the way to the federal level, man. Right? Because it's all their own doing. They're all their own doing. And it's not like I was attacking these guys, right? I was doing my videos of scrutinizing one's character, one's doing, not slandering, not defaming. So I got to start researching and seeing what's the next play, man. Right? I think federal should be because he's telling me it's going to probably be about a year, with the back and forth, the back and forth. I'm like, look, I understand what the back and forth, man. But when you have audio, video, and you have the pure intentions from the person himself, it's, defamation cases become difficult when it's just a bunch of he said, she said. right? When it's a bunch of he said, she said, defamation cases are hard to win, man, right? Because then you have to bring in witnesses, and it's all left up to the perception and the perspective on the judge or the jury. But when you actually have the guy committing the crime on CCTV, right, it paints a picture, right? If they have the burglar getting off the vehicle, hey, can you identify that vehicle registration? Yeah, we sure can. It comes from Detroit. Okay. What about the image? What about the voice? Oh yeah, that's him. Oh no. So he's actually breaking into. Oh yeah. So once you have all this on CCTV, right? People committing crimes, it's a lot easier to get a conviction, right? Instead of going up and reporting it and say, man, I think John Doe broke into my house, took my TV. I think the neighbor might have seen him, but I'm not too sure, right? That's the difference, right? He said, she said. Now, if you got cameras and video and you can prove it, it just umps it up a little bit more, man. It just solidifies and proves your case, right? It's no longer a he said, she said, right? And yes, the defamation cases are hard, but like I explained it to you, you gotta have proof. And as I've showed y'all these past couple of days, these videos, the Dante Einstein feels, it proves a pure malice behavior, right? Emotional, like I said, man. Today was what I had a bad nightmare last night, man. I felt somebody with a cowboy hat. I heard spurs, and I just, it was a bad dream, man. Right? It was a bad dream, man. It was a bad, but that's what happens when you've been mentally tortured, man. Right? And that's why I would continue to do my daily videos, man, because I do suffer from mental health. Right? And like I said, me talking my daily video helps me vent, relieve my emotional, I'm not the same. Sometimes I feel like crying. Sometimes I'm angry. Sometimes I just want to, go to sleep, right? And all this is, I know, man, like, I know, my mental health was self-inflicted, right? But that doesn't give the right for anybody to come use my mental health against me and to try to right? I guess they feel like, people with mental health are crash outs, and they're gonna, crash out, man, right? The more they push that person's buttons, right? My buttons have been pushed too. I've been called, y'all know it, man. To the people that have been here from the beginning, y'all know the story. So y'all can see the emotional distress, the anxiety, the paranoid or schizophrenia, everything, right, at the hands of one content creator named Dante Lamar Bell. If I sacrifice myself, my image, to speak on the horrific stuff that people like Mark Moore do, I told y'all these guys are apex predators, just in different environments. All right. Y'all have a good one, man, and I'll catch y'all around.